Okay, hi there everybody. My name is Sarah Elise and this is my newsletter for my community for the new moon in Cancer. And okay, I have to apologize in advance because this is going to be kind of complicated. I have a lot to say about this one. So I'm going to go slow and try and explain it to the best of my ability. I may have to record this a couple of times, and I did take some notes so that I can read them if you're wondering why I'm looking over in this direction, okay? This is a really important new moon, and I've been feeling it for, I don't know, I guess about 40 hours now. It's Sunday today, so I think I've been feeling it since Friday. It's really, 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 really powerful for healing. This is a healing moon, okay? What's happened to us in the last couple of weeks, probably the last, well, since about the beginning of June, is we've just come through a triple eclipse season. You know, normally we have 2 eclipses. This time we had 3. And they were some significantly powerful events in all of the, you know, the collective zeitgeist. We had an eclipse on June the 5th. We had an eclipse on June the 21st. And that was amazing at 0 degrees Cancer. That one just rocked everything. That was totally revolutionary, groundbreaking. And then the July 5th eclipse at 13 Capricorn was, I don't even know, like I can't even, I'm still in shock about the stuff that happened for me at that eclipse and the things that I realized. Eclipses are really interesting because they work like fast. They just come in and there will be like a breakthrough or a realization or something will be ripped away. And like you can go through like a fundamental catharsis in an eclipse, especially if it's impacting or interacting with your chart, like it was for me, very intimately interacting with my chart. So it was like I couldn't even be the same person after the eclipse as before, right? And I think that a lot of stuff has been going down in these last 6 to 8 weeks in our society, in our world. A lot of very rapid change, a lot of very rapid evolution, a lot of trauma, and a lot of kind of shocking events. So, you know, is this because of the eclipses? Are the eclipses causing everything? I mean, gosh, you know, astrology is one of these things where there are brilliant astrologers out there making correlations between what's happening in society and what's happening astrologically, and I know that you and I have talked about that a lot, but I'm feeling like a real draw toward personalizing this right now because I don't feel equipped or qualified to start making analysis on the collective and what's happening in the collective from my astrological view. I'm at a miss. I really just can't even take a stab at it. It's just out of my league. But what I am tracking is how it's impacting my own personal spiritual structure. And that is a very intimate and easy thing for me to notice because my lens into astrology is more of a healing. I look at it as more of a healing modality. So in any case, many of us will have undergone some significant shifts emotionally, mentally, or physically in the last 6 weeks. And a lot of these shifts might have brought up some pretty deep trauma or pretty deep emotional states, pretty deep vulnerability, states of vulnerability, states of kind of like an open feeling of being thrown about or being very new or having understandings that are like totally significantly life-changing. We may have been facing into like a very deep vulnerability, right? A very deep place of almost fear, not knowing what's coming, not knowing what's happening, and like a tremulousness. There's almost a tremulous feeling where we're not quite sure how we're going to move forward now. So this is the denouement of the eclipse season, and this new moon, which is our second new moon in Cancer in 6 weeks. We had a new moon in Cancer on the 21st of June, right? And at the summer solstice. And we we don't usually have 2 new moons in the same archetype back to back like this. So it's unusual. And this new moon in Cancer is giving us an opportunity to stop and rest and reflect and receive and integrate and come into a state of stability and ground before we move forward. Because this next month, in a couple of days, we're heading into Sun Leo. We've got Mars in Aries, and we've got poop, 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 like full speed ahead. So this is a really good opportunity for us to kind of stabilize and ground the changes that have come through the eclipse season and to embody them. Now, I want to talk to you a little bit about that, okay? So this is where I want to get into my notes a little bit. Okay, so let's talk for a second about Cancer, okay? And how it feels and what it means and how like the visualization I want you to use as we're saying, okay, what do you mean stabilize the changes? What does that mean exactly? Okay, well, Cancer is all about home. Where is your home? Is it the house that you live in? Is it the family unit that you belong to, or the tribal unit? I would almost invite you to think about home as being a literal geographical place inside your body. If home were inside your body, if you could go home to yourself, to a place inside your body, where would that home be? Where do you feel it? For me, who plays Cancer a lot, I have a lot of this archetype in my chart, I have come to know the Cancerian home as being a place that is beneath the heart gate. So it's not in the fourth chakra. It's not in the solar plexus exactly, although it could be a little bit above it, a little bit above the solar. So between the heart and the solar plexus, and a little back inside. This is where I feel it. It might be different for you. You might feel it deeper, you might feel it lower. But there's a literal geographical place inside which is home. And this is what Cancer rules, okay? So Cancer rules this place inside, which is the place we can go to find God within us, to find the mother, the goddess, mother, home, nurturing, love, food, peace, quiet, containment. It's very, very quiet there. And when I go into this space for myself, I find a fire, a small flame. It's like having a small flame. And this flame is something that I need to tend. It's private, it's sacred. It's a fire that doesn't go out. It's constant, as long as I tend it. It's like a sacred warm oven deep within. And it lights me from within. So it's very personal, very personal. And I think that is what Cancer really rules on the kinesthetic, visceral, body, spiritual level, right? It rules this feeling of like when we are in right Cancerian energy, we feel that we are connected to the nurturing of the mother and that we are fed from within. So we are connected to the goddess mother. We're connected to Gaia, to Earth. And she feeds us as though through our umbilicus, through the umbilical cord. The umbilical cord is connected to the mother, and it comes up, the food comes in and feeds us and gives us the nourishment and the power that we need to tend this sacred flame. Okay? Now, when that connection to the mother is broken, that flame isn't necessarily powerful, strong, or even available to us. For most of my life, that flame was not available to me. I had to train myself to connect. I had to heal all of the wounding that was around it, all the places where I was afraid. It's interesting that the timing of this new moon, because I just came out of a 4-day trauma intensive with Dr. Gabor Mate, who is a world-famous author, speaker, and activist for trauma research and reinventing or reinvigorating the way we see trauma in the body and the way we connect to it, the way we understand it, right? Trauma doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with you. Trauma is simply a byproduct of existing in a sick society. And every single one of us lives in a sick society. We live in a society that vilifies greed, competition, discouragement, anger, scarcity, lack, vile behavior. We come into this society innocent, and we come into this society with really only two needs, two primal needs. The need to belong, the need to feel like we are attached to our surroundings, that we will be taken care of, that we're secure attachment, and the need to be ourself, the need to be our unique self that we've come here to be, the beautiful self that we are, our divine line, our pure form, right? That part of us that is beyond time and space, that is absolutely perfect. And we come into this incarnation absolutely perfect. But what happens is, as we plug into the matrix of human suffering, and to the matrix of the human dimension, the human matrix, okay, which is poisonous and toxic in so many ways, what happens is we start to get messages from society and from our parents and from our environment that tells us we're not worthy of nurturing, tells us we can't have what we need unless we change ourselves, that there's something wrong with us, or at least this is how we start to interpret the messages. We interpret them as, oh, if I behave this way, if I cry, if I'm angry, if I want something, if I ask for something, if I need attention, whatever it might be, I will not get the love I want. I get punished. I get hit. What about if I get, put in my crib to cry it out? What if I get ignored? Like, what? I don't even want to go into all the horrible ways that we ignorantly damage our babies and our children. I made a career of this by rearing 3 of them and trying to do my best to kind of circumvent the traumatic things that I knew I could incur upon them. But anyway, this is not what I want to talk about today. What I want to point out is that implicit in our incarnation is this wound, is this wounding, is this trauma. And the trauma really is around, we didn't feel like we were going to get our needs met if we were our authentic self. So we subjugated the authentic self in order to get our needs met, in order to feel like we belonged, okay? Cancer also rules tribal consciousness, mass consciousness, at a human personality level anyway. It rules that part that we plug into our mama, we plug our mummy, we plug into our daddy, we plug into our families, and we become them, right? We form our subconscious to meet the emotional expectations of our environment, and in that we give ourselves away. We form ourselves to meet the environment so we can fit. So that environment extends outward into society through mass consciousness, mass media, all of this stuff imprints us, schools imprint us, and the next thing you know, you are one with the masses. You're living unconscious, you're asleep. And you're living out these primal instinctual feelings, or these traumas, or these dramas, or these expectations, or these beliefs, these structures, which is the opposite of Capricorn, the opposite of Cancer, which is Capricorn. So from this inner wounding, we go out into society and we create structures that reflect the inner wounding. So it's like this unbelievably frustrating dance between these two archetypes that right now in our society, if we're really working on our consciousness, if we're working on waking up, this is what's up for all of us because of the Capricorn stellium, the alignment in January, and the whole unfolding of this through 2020 and beyond, okay? Oh, okay, anchor. I get so excited and I lose touch with what I'm talking about. So I want us to all just acknowledge that, that we have this deep trauma, and it's not anybody's fault. It's just simply a byproduct of being here right now at this time. And every single one of our souls has come here on purpose. So I think we've all signed up for it. And I think we're going to be just fine. We're going to make it through, right? But to unwind that trauma, you have to plug into something more than the human matrix. You have to. You cannot heal the trauma inside of a sick system that keeps pumping toxicity into your body. You have to plug into the truth. You have to plug into the mother. You have to plug into your soul, to your heart, to the Father. You have to plug into more, okay? And tomorrow, what is so interesting that I think is fascinating about the architecture in the sky tomorrow is that we have Sun, Moon conjunct at 28 degrees of Cancer, opposite Saturn at 28 degrees of Capricorn, and both Saturn is, well, Saturn's not sextile, my apologies. The Sun and the Moon are trining Neptune at 20 degrees of Pisces, okay? So the esoteric ruler of Cancer, which is Neptune, is trine to the Sun and the Moon in Cancer. So, and then all of this is opposing Saturn. So what this is saying to me is that tomorrow, for our new moon, we have an opportunity to touch base, to touch in to the sacred hearth of our own inner sanctum, our own inner sacredness, that inner part of us that was absolutely untraumatized upon entry and remains so to this day. There is a part of you, this essential part of you, that is completely pure and completely okay and completely safe, and it's inside of you, and you have a right to connect with it, to touch base with it, and to have the Neptunian element. So the Neptune plays this beautiful role, bringing unconditional love and assistance from the spirit world. It brings in assistance from the spirit world. It brings assistance in from the God, from the goddess, from the energy of the creator. And it brings it into the Cancerian hearth, to that deep inner womb space, so that we can hold that part of us that has been so activated in the last couple of months, okay? I hope you know what I'm talking about. I have sure felt this. There's this part of me that is so fresh and so vulnerable and so raw, and I am loving it. I am tending it. I am caring for it. I am honoring it. This small hearth, this small flame. It matters. It is important. It is your life force. It is your pure essence. And for you to tend it in the wake of all of this trauma means you have to come back through the trauma and find the inner source of light. So in order to do that, you have to face into what hurts. You have to face into the pain of the scar tissue that's surrounding that fire, and allow the fire to burn the scar tissue off, to burn the pain away. And the way we burn pain is simply by feeling it. And the Neptune influence comes in and wraps it all up in this beautiful warm light, in this softness and this elegance. So if you can connect to your spirit, if you can connect to your soul, and you can go in and you can do this healing work so rightly right now, you can do this healing work, and you can own and reclaim this sacredness inside of you, okay? I'm not suggesting that you're going to be perfect by the end of tomorrow, but I am suggesting that the next layer of your onion, that thing that has come up, that part of you that has been revealed, this is the time for you to reclaim it, honor it, and hold it sacred. And the Saturn in Capricorn opposite the new moon is so interesting because it really represents the truth, which is we cannot build a proper society unless we're coming from a place of sacredness within us. We cannot go out and create a form that is useful unless we love ourselves deeply from within, because we will just create more of the same. If we're traumatized within, we'll create trauma without. It's just the law. Cancer and Capricorn are opposite. So tomorrow is this opportunity, guys, to honor yourself, honor the sacred within you, so that you can build a boundary and a structure around you that will help you go out into society in a more true, pure form. And don't forget that Neptune. It's very powerful. You call in your guides, you call in your angels, you call whatever words you want to put on it. You call in the sacred, and you create a container that helps you. Now, one thing that one of my teachers taught me years and years and years ago, which I've never forgotten and which I practice all the time, is to remember to plug your umbilicus into the earth, because it is the nourishment from her that is that you can trust more than anything else. You can trust the nourishment from beneath you, and you can trust the nourishment from above you. And when you connect to that divine line, you're in pure form, you're sovereign, and you're connected, and you're in your own essence, okay? It's when we try to attach and feed ourselves from sources that are on the horizontal plane, from this person or this job or that title or this thing or whatever. That's where we're feeding the trauma. We're still plugged into the human matrix, okay? So just remember that tomorrow. I want you all to just practice that, to see yourself in this beautiful divine line connected to the center of the earth and the center of the cosmos, and hold this sacred flame and tend it and nurture it, and imagine yourself expanding out to create a safe container for you, a container that is built out of love and respect and dignity, okay? That is what I think is going on at this new moon. So take it or leave it. I pray that you have a beautiful, blessed experience in any case tomorrow. The new moon will come at around 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on July the 20th. Good luck, everybody, and I'll talk to you really soon. I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you. Mwah.